So.
Hey, it's your boy Big Rube.
And we are the Purple Brothas. Thank y'all so much for joining us this week. Now we're going to do our top 5 favorite Prince album covers. We all know Prince's album covers are very iconic, so we want to go ahead and definitely give our opinions on our top 5 favorite. And we also including a very special guest, a good friend of mine, DJ Funkclone, who also runs Funkclone Radio on Mixcloud.com. He's also going to go ahead and give his input on his 5 too as well. And we're very thankful to have him as a special guest on our show. And here he is. So I wanted to invite DJ Funkclone on here, man, because he's also a DJ as well, a longtime Prince follower just like us, man. And I thought he'd be perfect fit to discuss with us our 5 top favorite Prince album covers. So it's an honor to have you on here joining us, Funkclone. We're going to go ahead and do this, knock this out, and see what kind of surprises we have on these album covers today.
Yes, sir.
The first one I want to probably go over is the Sign of the Times album cover, which is right here. I have it here as well. I think this one, I picked this one first because I think it's very, all the image, everything in it, in the photo and everything, the images and everything he put in there, I think it symbolizes a lot because if everybody knows the history of this album, you know, he was going through a lot at that time. You know, he broke up with, he broke up the revolution, you know, in '86, and he broke up with his longtime girlfriend, Susanna Melvoin. And, you know, he was going through a lot, and he was going through a lot with Warner Brothers. You know, he wanted to put out a triple album, and they wouldn't let him. So he had to, like, you know, whittle this down to a 2-disc, 4-side set, and it became Sign of the Times ultimately. And I think this album cover kind of shows the strife and some of the struggles he was going through. I think he was kind of putting it into a capsule, so to speak, and kind of putting that light on the album. That's what I think, and that's why I think this album is like really stands out for me. And the peach and the black and all of that, he was really going in a different direction at the time. He was doing something else. He was going in a different direction.
Yeah, I agree on that album cover, man. There's a lot going on in that album cover. I remember seeing it for the first time, and it's almost chaotic, but it's like a, what do you call, like an organized mess, I guess you could say, in a sense.
Yeah, organized mess. That's a good way to say it. You know, to me, it's like a melancholy type of thing where it's like he's clearing out his closet, so to speak, and this is the stuff that's in his closet that he needs to get out. He needs to get rid of. That's how I kind of think it. Like he was like cleaning house, you know, emotionally, you know, and creatively probably. So that's how I take that album cover. That's what it says to me.
Yeah, and the fact that he was able to even convey that in the movie with the same stage is amazing.
Yeah,
the same stage.
Yeah. You know, and the way the movie was done. I mean, it just that whole time right there, '87.
Yeah.
That to me, he was at a real creative peak too. You know, that he was really being really prolific with his writing, being very. It was just coming to him, you know, and it shows, and that's in that album. And I think the album cover is just like that. It just puts that stamp on it to me.
Right.
You know?
So this album cover, this is not in no particular order. This is just a top 5 for you, right?
Not really in particular order. You know, I just kind of went with Sign of the Times first because there's just so much in that picture.
Yeah.
Second one I want to go over is the 1999 album.
Yeah.
You know, that this album cover to me, this was different when it came out in 1992. It was like where was he going? And you know, it's kind of like an outer space type of theme to it, but you know, it's just out there. It was different at that time when it came out. This was really revolutionary.
It was.
This album cover, when people saw this, they're like, wow, that's something new. And you know, it was, to me, he was just doing something that was just totally from left field with this. You know, and from what I've read and from what I heard, Vanity actually supposedly, allegedly helped him put this album cover together.
That's correct.
You know, that's kind of special too.
Yeah,
the two of them in this together. allegedly, if that's what really happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, this album right here, this is the second Prince album I bought in my youth. So yeah, this was like this one it stands out for me as well. This one right
Yeah.
here.
Awesome.
Cool.
Third album, well, controversy. This album cover right here. This was actually the first Prince album I ever bought. This was actually when I jumped on the Prince train, was with this album, 81, 82. I was 12, 13 years old. And it's just this album cover, man. It's just that look. He's just giving the camera. It's just, it's just dead on. He's saying something just with that look to me. Like he's just like giving that stare of like he's just gonna turn you to stone.
Yeah.
And he's serious.
I came to handle business.
Yeah, he's handling business. He was getting things going. And he's standing there with his hands on his hips. It looks like he's here to do something. And just the messages in the back, all these things saying, anti-Christian sentenced to die, and President signs gun control act. Just he was going in a real political way, and the way Prince would do it in his style. So he was obviously saying something with this album cover to me. This album cover, Diamonds and Pearls. Even though I'm not a big fan of the album, I'm a big fan of the cover because that hologram thing on it. You can't really see here in this light, but this was revolutionary to me. And when he came out with this, I'm like, wow, that's pretty cool right there.
Yeah.
When I first saw this, that was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. So this one's always stood out for me as well. And I think this one right here will be the big surprise for you guys. I think it will be.
You saved that for last, huh?
Blackout.
Oh,
okay.
It just says so much just by putting the color black on it. It's just it just sets up the theme of the album just with the color black. Just there's nothing else. That's it. That's all he had to do.
No track listing, no production credits, no nothing. Yeah.
It's the color black. This just stands out just because of the theme of the album. It just sets it up for you, just with the color. So those are my 5 right there.
I love it.
I'm loving that.
Yes.
Your list almost sounds like mine, man. we almost there.
In no particular order, one of my favorite covers is from an album that I don't really care for, but I like the animation of the album cover, and that's Graffiti Bridge. I like, you just get one side of Prince's face. You have Ingrid Chavez there. The whole animation, you can see the symbol like in his, in his ear and all that. So I thought it was pretty creative at that time, 1990. He had some, pretty good records on there, but I think he just gave the time just some terrible records. I've spoken to Digital Soul about that once. I can't stand it, but the album cover, I really dig. So
I like that one too a lot. So it's different. I like the colors and the painting and everything.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with DJ also with one of my favorite album covers, and it's Controversy. And his look, and I like the political stance, the political stuff that he was saying behind him. I thought it really resonated with me coming off Dirty Mind, and here he is with one of the funkiest records at the time with Controversy by itself. I thought it was really cool with the purple trench coat and looking like, I got some shit for you. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Yeah. So that's one of my favorite album covers as well. Another one of mine also is Around the World in a Day. With that one, it has a lot of symbolism. If you can see like the little kid with the balloon and, and it says the name Prince of the Revolution Around the World in a Day, then you can see like the little, looks like a hill or whatever, but it's really, you can see there's like a breast and a nipple there. You got the ladder going up into the sky, into the heavens. I thought it was really creative and really dope. And you can also see the brother on the guitar that was supposed to be Prince. At the time, it was said that Prince wanted to dye his hair color that particular color, but he had a bad reaction to it. So he had to go to the original, to his original color. So I thought that was pretty dope. And all the people that
I heard he wore a wig for a while. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's a rumor or what, but I heard he had to actually wear a wig because trying to do that to his hair went so bad for him that he had to go wear a wig for a while. That's what I've heard. I don't know if that's a rumor or what.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one before, but I know they said that he had a bad reaction, so anything's possible. I think that's why he had that very bad haircut in Raspberry Beret.
That Liza Minnelli
look like that haircut. We saw that haircut only one time.
Right.
He made no more videos with that haircut.
Until we saw America. We saw America when he threw the hat off.
Right.
Like he cut his hair. So
right. That would be why, right?
Exactly. And I got one more. I agree with DJ as well. Diamonds and Pearls. The hologram alone was so intricate. It was so like, how did you come up with that concept? And of course, you got the two honeys, diamond and pearl behind them, and how it kind of, when you moved it, you could see his eyes, and then when you move it a different way, his eyes go down, and they're looking down. It was just pretty. I thought it was real dope ass album cover. One of my favorites of all time. I think it's probably my favorite ever.
Yeah.
Diamonds and Pearls. It was really, really good. I really liked the way he laid that out. And last but not least, gotta go with Purple Rain. Gotta go with Purple Rain. You got Apollonia in the hallway waiting. You got the hell of a guitar looking in the camera. I mean, when I first saw the album cover as a youngster, I was like, I gotta have that. I don't care what time it comes, when it comes out. Mother, you must buy that for me, like ASAP. And she did.
Yeah.
Just one of those iconic covers that I thought that he ever produced. So that's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, man, that's dope, man.
Yeah.
I'm mad because you almost picked all of my favorites.
Well,
I should have went first.
What you got? Come on, man. I know you got something.
My it's very, very funny because my list is very similar to Funkclone and yours, man. So a lot of similarities, man. So we got a lot in common on the album cover concept. And the album covers that I chose, the first few, they actually almost run in sequence, one after another. And then also, I like these particular album covers because they actually told a story before we even got to play the record. And my first choice on that is Dirty Mind.
Oh.
Yeah, Dirty Mind. Damn, I remember just being a kid. The first time I saw that album, I was actually riding my bike around the block. And there were these people about 4 doors down were playing Head really loud. Door open, teenagers were walking in. It was just like a teenage house party. And I stopped on my bike, and I had to be probably about 8, 9 years old. I was really young. And I heard this song, and I stopped right in front of this house to hear this song. And I saw this girl, she had to be about 14, 15 years old, walk in with this record. I saw it in her arms. I saw this guy wearing underwear and a trench coat and this wild hair. And I was like, that's who's playing on that record. The first record I had was the second album, so I knew Prince from, the Long Perm, the Blue album. That was the only album I saw. But when I saw that record, I just couldn't imagine that this was the same guy. I'm like, wow. And that's what's coming out of the speaker. So it was very intriguing, like DJ Funkclone said about Controversy, man, him looking straight into that camera. It's got this mattress behind him. It's just like, it's screaming sex. It's going like, this is nasty. It's going to get nasty on this record. To me, that's what it tells me. I'm in my underwear. I'm in my trench coat.
He's making a statement for sure.
Right.
Yeah. Make a statement, man.
And then you flip it, and then you flip it over, and he's on this bed, and he's got the spray paint. Like, this is a nasty record. Like, before you even play this record, you can tell it's going down in this record. So that album cover still to this day, it's like, man, how do you have the balls to do this? So I still love it.
Right. It's dope.
So yeah, I like that one a lot. And my second choice would be Around the World in a Day. Also, same reason, man. It tells a complete story of the record before you even play it. As Big Rube mentioned, that ladder in the middle, you know, with the song correlating with the ladder, the little boy with the American flag, we have the song on there, America. So there's a lot of things on the album cover that told the story of the record before we actually even play it. So you already knew, you know, if you really looked at the album covers, you can really tell, okay, this is, you know, this is what we're going to hear on this record. And then on the, as Funkclone mentioned with the Revolution, you know, Dr. Fink with the white hair, he's almost like an old man, and Brown Mark almost looks like a ghost. You know, it's just, and then Prince is made up like almost like a white man, and then Bobby Z is like a woman with the red hair. It's a crazy concept, but it's so fucking dope. I still like the look and the gatefold of how it opens up, and it just tells a complete story of this record. It's like a carnival, and I like the way if you look in the water is all shifted to one side, to not the Revolution side, but the other side. If you go to the back of the album, the water, if you look at the waves, the water is all shifted to the side of the regular people and not the Revolution. So I kind of looked at all that on the album cover. That's kind of, yeah.
I looked at that album.
So that's kind of the things
I've never noticed that. That's okay.
Let me just see if I don't know if you can see that there, but yeah. Well, it's not going to come out there, but yeah, it's not good.
I'll show it. I'll show it up there.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I really love the look and feel of that. And like you, Big Rube mentioned, with the nipple, and then the mountain is made up like a puzzle of different colors as opposed to like a regular mountain. So yeah, just a really psychedelic.
If you notice the mountain range, it's a woman laying down.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
You know, that took a while for me to notice that too, but yeah, that's what it is. It's a woman.
Yeah.
You know?
And if
the water thing, that's new to me. I'd never noticed that before.
Yeah, definitely. If you open it up and check out, there's no water. What's on the Revolution side, on the ground, is all flowers, like confetti almost. But on the other side, when you flip it over, all the water is shifted over on that side.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You notice the thing where there's a dove, and then you notice the thing in the sky. There's a dove, and then there's like an airplane in the sky about to collide. That's another thing that's like, you know, that was another hidden message type of thing that took a while to notice as well.
Right.
Yeah, but I never noticed that with the water thing. I'll check that out.
Right. And even the globe in the back that the clown is juggling of the world is black with different colors, as opposed to, you know, the green as representing the land. So that's another thing. It was just very different, very psychedelic and different, in a way ahead of its time.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna check that out.
If you ever get a chance to go to Susanna Melvoin's Instagram, she has those pictures of those symbols, all those different people. So you get to see the actual person who was on the violin, who was on the guitar, all those different images on her Instagram. So you get to see the original pictures. It's pretty dope.
Yes.
I'll check that out.
Yeah, Susanna Melvoin is actually the young lady playing the violin sitting down on the ground. She was the person who posed for that picture. Yeah.
Right.
Really? I thought that would have been Lisa. But okay, so that's Susanna.
Yeah.
Susanna.
Okay. Yeah, okay. So this is all new stuff. Kind of a lot of new stuff for me on that album cover. I didn't know.
Yeah, it tells a lot. It's so simple, but it tells a lot, man. So yeah, I've always dug the difference in that. It just tells a lot of stories in that one cover. So I love it a lot.
Sweet.
Yeah. And my next choice is very, very similar. It's a wild side to this one, and also a drawing, which is 1999, of course. My favorite album and favorite album cover. Just like DJ Funkclone said, man, it's just freaking wild, man. Just the fact that it tells a story before we even pull out the record, and that's basically the first introduction of the purple, man. We see purple before even Purple Rain comes out. Purple is so prominent on this record, and then also even in the sleeves, when we pull out the inner sleeves, you know, where we read the lyrics, everything is purple. And then on the back side, when you flip it over, man, we get a story of basically the first song, which is 1999. He's actually given us the first verse and the chorus right on the back before we even hear the album. So we already know what we're getting into. And then the whole eyes in the 1999, his eyes in there, and then the one as the penis, you know, there's just a lot of shit going on in this drawing, and it fits. It's just it's wild. We get a piece of the trench coat, you know, as right at the top of the R, you can see kind of the studs, the metallic studs there, the piece of his trench coat, his lips in the center of the P. We see the new pants that he's wearing as the N with the buttons down the side. So it's a lot. It's telling a lot about his change from Controversy going into 99. We kind of see his direction and see what he's going to do as far as his clothes, his favorite color, what he's going to be singing about when we see the lyrics on the back of the album. So the album cover is iconic to me.
So yeah, no question.
Hit me the same way. Hit me the same way, man.
Yeah.
First bought it.
Yeah. I remember buying it, man, as a kid, and I stared and stared at it. I wanted to just see everything that was drawn on this picture, man. It was just crazy.
I got that album as a Christmas present that year.
Really?
Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Christmas morning, I opened it up, and there it was.
Damn.
Tore it open, the wrapping, and there it was, man. That was when I first got into it.
Yeah.
Saw what you're talking about.
And the strange thing about that record, man, it took me a long time to realize that the Revolution were even credited on this album, and I missed it for a long time because it was in the middle of that eye.
And backwards too, right?
Backwards,
And the mirror image,
Yeah, it took me a long while to even catch that. I'm sure I wasn't the only one, but yeah, that was just like that went over a lot of people's heads that was even there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing that, but I didn't understand what it was about because he wasn't calling the revolution yet. So when I first saw that, I was like, I didn't know what that was about. I just thought he was just talking about some kind of revolution. Like
right.
He was.
I thought it was some code word too. Yeah.
I didn't know that he was actually going to call his band 2 years later the Revolution.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, that's kind of like what I meant by we get to see all of this Purple Revolution, all of this before Purple Rain, and we don't even realize it until Purple Rain comes. It's like, oh, he was already on Purple. He was already doing the revolution. He was already doing. We see the symbol in here for the first time too, drawn in there too. I think at the bottom of the 9, we see the symbol for the first time.
Yeah, you do.
So we see this is like the beginning of everything to me that revolves around Prince's legacy with this album cover. Yeah. And my next choice, also DJ Funkclone has it on the wall there, Controversy. Another one, man, it just tells a complete story before we hear the album, man. That look into the camera is like, I'm finna take care of shit. I'm finna give you the business. The newspaper clippings in the back, they even, it gives us the album titles, Anti-Christian. It talks about the gun control, which he talks about, and Ronnie talks to Russia. So it does kind of hint at all the stuff that's going to go on in this record before we even get to play it. So, and the funny thing, I always laugh at this because of the look and the dress, the clothes that he's wearing, and I always wondered, like, he's wearing underwear. If we actually have a full picture of this,
well, you know the poster that it came with, right?
Right. Because we see him basically from his chest up, which makes it look like he's fully dressed, but I bet he's not. He's got on drawers.
He was just carrying on from Dirty Mind. He was transitioning with the new trench coat and all that, but he's still high stockings, thigh-high stockings and stuff.
Right, and then carrying on the Rude Boy button, which was pretty cool from Dirty Mind, and then also this was an introduction to the purple trench coat, because I think in Dirty Mind it wasn't purple, it was more like a black, or he was wearing like an off brown color trench coat at the time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is the introduction of the purple trench coat that we see on the cover. And yeah, just so much going on with these newspaper clippings and just the look, as Funkclone said, him looking to the camera and then looking at the song, listening to the song controversy, and then looking at that cover. It's like, man, like this dude is serious. He's about to give it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I like that one a lot. That one's also iconic to me. And then my last choice is also Diamond and Pearls. Yeah, Diamonds and Pearls, man. I always wondered how much money it costs to make that hologram. Number one, because I know it costs a lot of money to make all those covers like that. And then as you guys both mentioned, man, how you shifted the cover and Prince's eyes moved. And then also, I don't know which one of the girls it was, but one has a cigarette and it lifts as you move.
She's the one in the very back, yeah.
Right. So yeah, that was always unique, and that was ahead of its time too. Because I don't think anyone has ever even done that since then, right? But not that I'm aware of.
No, I haven't seen anybody do anything.
I don't know about since then.
Yeah.
There's a little story about that album cover though. I don't know if you guys would put it on the show though. I could tell you guys like off camera. I don't know, but there's a story that.
Preach, man. Go ahead. Preach about it.
Well, supposedly, I forgot the guy's name, but he was part of the marketing for Warner Brothers at the time, and he actually did that a hologram album cover for the year before for another artist. She had a hologram cover. So the year 1991, they approached Prince about what kind of cover do you want for your Diamonds and Pearls album. He was just being sarcastic with him, and he sends him a picture of like him like sticking his tongue out with sunglasses on. That's the story. So they came back to him and they're like, well, this isn't going to work. We need something else. So they had a meeting with him and this guy, I forgot the guy's name. It's in the book here. I'd have to look it up. But he's the one that came up with the hologram cover for the artist the year before. So there was a meeting between him and Prince and Benny Medina, who was in charge of A&R at the time at Warner Brothers. The three of them were talking, and Prince is just sitting there, and then Benny Medina leaves the room, and it's just Prince and this other guy, the guy that came up with the concept with the other artist, and Prince is just glaring at him, going like, "Well, what ideas you got? What do you got that's going to be so good?" So the guy goes, "Well, let me show you." So he goes up to his office and comes back with a bunch of album covers that he did, and Prince is leafing through them. He's like, "No, don't like that one." He was just being a jerk, you know. He was just being that way too. No, don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. Don't like that. You don't have no style. And then that album cover came up from the other artist that came out the year before with the hologram. He goes, "I like that. Can you do that for me?" That's the little story behind that album cover.
Oh, wow.
And they did it for me.
Wow.
And supposedly Prince was really grateful for that. He sent the guy a note saying, "I like what you did. Thank you." He was being a jerk to him at the meeting, saying stuff like, you don't have any style. But he was just totally cutting him down. But when he saw that, then he goes, "I like this. Yeah, can you do this for me?" They did it, and then Prince sends him a note going, "Yeah, you're great. Thank you." You know, so you know that's the little story behind that.
Prince being
I read.
being Prince. I was my ass. Oh, you don't like it? Kiss my ass.
Definitely iconic though, man. I've always wondered how like the albums, that was like a huge album for him, because that coming after Graffiti Bridge being quoted unsuccessful as far as sales, Diamonds and Pearls considered a comeback. So there was a lot of money put into this project, and even a new version of the band with a new sound and everything. So I've always imagined, like, damn, how much did it cost to actually get this printed on all those CDs? And I know it had to cost a lot of money, but yeah, it's iconic. You know, like I said, I haven't seen anything like it since.
Well, if you've noticed, I think when the European version of Diamonds and Pearls, the album cover, it's not a hologram picture. It's a whole other picture.
Right.
So maybe the production was too much to keep going that way, and that's why they went to the other cover. Maybe that's just my guess. I don't know.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Right.
But,
Yeah. It's probably real expensive back then.
yeah, yeah. It's probably a lot cheaper to do now, but it'd probably look a little bit better now too. But that was pretty revolutionary for its time. That was pretty original for
Yeah.
its
Well,
time.
Prince was balling out of control at that time, so I'm sure he didn't miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great one of the great album covers. DJ Funkclone said he doesn't really like the album too much. I didn't care for the Graffiti Bridge album, but I thought Diamonds and Pearls was pretty good. It was a more pop record, but still had some good songs on it.
Yeah.
I think my favorite song off that album is "Money Don't Matter Tonight."
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs off that album.
Yeah, great song.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, that's one of mine too. That one and I go to Willing and Able. No, my bad. Strolling.
Strolling.
Yeah.
I like Strolling too. Yeah.
So we want to wrap things up. We want to thank DJ Funkclone to come on for the Purple Brothas, our special guest, top 5 album covers of all time. Hey, like always, subscribe to our channel, like, give comments, let us know what you feel. More stuff coming.
And before we go, DJ Funkclone, if you want to let everybody know where they can find you on IG or your Facebook, your links and everything too as well.
Yes.
Funkclone Radio. Find it only on Mixcloud.com. Do a search on Mixcloud.com and look up Funkclone Radio, and it'll pop right up. All the shows that have been done so far. So please, check them out. Hope you enjoy them. Funkclone Radio.
Yeah, definitely check him out.
It's funky over there.
Yeah, definitely check him out because he has a lot. He got some 80s mixes on there, some 70s mixes. There's also a Prince tribute. It's like 2.5 hours, an introspection of Prince, which is very, very good. Handpicked by DJ Funkclone himself. Some amazing picks. So definitely get on Mixcloud.com. Check those out. And we're so thankful for having him as a special guest on our show today. We thank you for coming on.
Yes. Thank you guys.
And to all of the Purple Army out there, Purple people, we thank you once again for joining us on the Purple Ride. See you soon the next go around. Stay tuned for more. We're coming at you. Peace.
Brother, baby.